Okay, friends, if you're a man, I want you to pay attention. If you're not a man, keep scrolling. Actually, I'm kidding. I hate when people do that. Anyone can listen, and I want everyone to comment because I need some help. I would like to know why men do not approach me in public. I am 52. I'm divorced. Listen, I'm not looking to get wifed up, but it would be nice to have someone to consistently go on some dates with, maybe have some fun, go dancing. I don't know, maybe a little makeout sesh every once in a while. That would be really nice. So here's the deal. I'm out there. I want to meet someone in the wild. I do not want to meet someone on dating apps because dating apps suck. I go to the grocery store. I go to the gym. I go on walks in public. I go to bars. I go to restaurants. I go dancing. I play pool. I go to the shooting range. I am out there, and I'm out there sometimes by myself, a lot of times with other friends. What's this? It's a cut. I have a cut on my face. Ignore that. Anyway, so tell me what I'm doing wrong. I mean, I'm not like the most gorgeous person in the world, but I consider myself to be like averagely attractive. I think I look slightly younger than my age, and guys just don't approach me. So tell me why. Tell me why. I need to know. Do I need to change my hair? Should I get a facelift? Do I need to change my voice? Should I move? I don't know. Please tell me. Let me know. Thanks. Bye.
I just saw a TikTok that said men aren't approaching women not because they're being told not to by women, but because they're just actually too scared, which is a valid reason. Like, I don't want to go up to people and talk to them, even if I think they're hot. I'm scared too. But the men in his comments being like, well, I'm too ugly. Well, I'm just scared if I do what they're gonna say or what they're gonna accuse us of. Well, I don't look like Chris Hemsworth, so I can't approach a woman. I'm telling you right now, if you have pure intentions when approaching a woman and you're not trying to be creepy, if you're going up to a woman being like, yeah, I'm gonna get some tonight, that's creepy. If you're going up to a woman genuinely thinking like, you know, I think she's pretty, let me see if I could start a conversation, that's different. Like, yeah, you could still get rejected. That's okay. The more comfortable you are doing it and the more confident you get, then you'll do it more, and maybe occasionally it will land. Trust me, I've been rejected. I've been called ugly by dudes. Maybe not to my face, but like on the internet. And I'm scared to approach men I find attractive. But not because I think, oh, they'll think I'm creepy and weird. Just because I think, you know, they'll think I'm not attractive or something. And I'm like bad and awkward with conversations. But I'm telling you, men, if you want to approach women in public, you absolutely can. As long as you're not trying to be creepy. No woman is going to accuse you of anything if you're being formal. There have been many dudes that have approached me who are not attractive. And did I politely decline? Yes. But they were like not the most attractive dudes shooting their shot. Some of them were creepy, absolutely, but some of them were just being nice. And sure, you could call me shallow for like rejecting them because they weren't attractive, but I'm out trying to have a good time with my gal pals. I don't feel like entertaining a dude. So moral of the story is, if you want to try and shoot your shot, you could shoot your shot. Just don't be creepy and weird.
And so here's the thing. Some of these modern women are asking questions that they don't actually want the answer for. It's a subtle shot. There was a woman that referenced a clip by Tracy Ellis Ross. If you're not familiar with her, she's an actress, been on a pretty good number of shows. I think Blackish is one of them, but she's the daughter of Diana Ross, right? 52, or she's somewhere in her 50s right now. She said something around to the effect of, I like dating younger men because they are not so misogynistic, or they're less likely to be misogynistic. And the woman says, okay, with that being said, what does this look like for men? What is the inverse, basically? Or what is the same thing on a man's side? And me and a lot of other men said, well, we'd like a woman that's not so in this space of haughtiness, prideful, egotistical. What would that look like? Strong, independent woman. I don't need no man. Boss babe. And instead of saying, okay, she really wasn't asking a question to understand men and their perspective. She was asking the question to argue. Well, why do you say that? Because immediately after I said they're looking to avoid the contentiousness. That's pretty straightforward. Oh, contentiousness? That ain't nothing that's taught in society. Well, you just say that you want to groom the girl. Just say that you want to financially dominate her and control her. What? And it's the same thing with this young lady right here. Guy in the comments says, I'm telling you right now, as conventionally attractive, tall guy, it is not worth the risk. You don't understand. It's similar to how most guys can't understand why women can be physically afraid of men. She responds, actually, it's not the same at all, considering women get taken advantage of, I'll say it like that, and taken out, eliminated, I'll say it like that. By men, they reject sometimes, and you're worried about being called a creep. Yep. Y'all are not really asking questions to understand a male perspective or point of view. You're really asking to further your agenda and ego. You've already made a determination of what you want to say. You're not really listening. You don't really care about what the man said.
Unpopular opinion, in an age gap relationship, dating a guy that's 27 years older, I don't have daddy issues. I'm not desperate. I'm not a gold digger, okay? I generally love the man I'm with because he's him. That's literally it. A lot of people think, oh my God, you're dating older because you need somebody to take care of you and you just want his money, or you have problems with your dad, so you're looking for another father figure. And it's like, no, I actually was not even gonna go out with him when I first even swiped on his profile. I was literally not even gonna go out with him. And then guess what? I went out with him and I met my soulmate. Age is just a freaking number. It doesn't mean shit. Okay, to all the haters out there. And my man's hot as fuck. Y'all have seen his physique. That man's jacked, biceps for days, tricep for days, six pack. Like, he's hotter than most 20-year-olds. So it's not about age, baby. It's not about age.
Well, you know, some of these women are probably going to tell you you're being controlled and manipulated and financially dominated and stuff like that. All the buzzwords.
I don't know if men are like born with this like power or something, but my boyfriend, he literally will go somewhere one time and he will learn the way. Like, he does not need GPS after that. We just moved to this new town 2 weeks ago and he already knows how to get to literally anywhere without GPS. He's right there. I don't get it.
I invited 3 guys to Easter. 3. I figured, let's just try. I'm so sick of showing up to family holidays alone. I only know 3 people. Let's invite all 3, and whatever happens, happens. Let the chips fall where they may. I really thought 1 out of 3 would take the bait. Nobody wants to go to a family holiday with me. Why? I dressed cute. I smell good. There's free food and conversation. What the f? Just come meet my family and hang out with me. I'm lonely and I'm sick of showing up alone. I have so much to offer. So does my family. God, what the fuck? This is so stupid. Not even 1 out of 3. I'm honestly shocked I know 3 people, but not one of them would say yes. Meet my family and eat their food.
Women don't like men anymore. And do you know why women don't like men anymore? Because men hold women accountable. Men don't let them play the victim. Women will intentionally find pieces of like literal pieces of men who don't work, men who have no dreams, no aspirations, men who don't take care of their kids, men who can't pay bills. That matters. I'm just trying to make a point that they seek out these men that they could fix so that A, they could feel better about themselves, and B, so that there's no one sitting there taking their inventory, holding them accountable.
Would I be the asshole for dumping my girlfriend after she ignored my calls and messages and went clubbing while I was undergoing emergency surgery?
Oh, I already agree with you. You're not the asshole.
I, 22 male, and my girlfriend, 22 female, have been together for 5 years. We've been together since high school, and until recently, I've always considered her to be my future wife. I've even bought a ring and was planning on proposing over the coming months. Well, last weekend, it was my girlfriend's best friend's birthday. She and her friends booked a private lounge at a club. Obviously, I didn't go since 1, I wasn't invited, and 2, I hate clubbing or anything associated with that. I was actually looking forward to spending an evening alone and just binging Netflix or something. Well, my girlfriend left around 9 p.m., and I just crashed on the couch and watched some YouTube. Well, around 11 p.m., I started to feel this distinct stomach pain.
Oh.
The pain you experience when someone hits you in the nuts. It wasn't bad at first, and I just thought my body was playing some tricks on me, but in the span of about 5 minutes, the pain just kept getting worse until I was basically stuck in the fetal position on the couch. Again, initially, I just thought that the pain would go away, but then I pulled down my pants, and it felt like my right testicle was starting to swell. I did not read this one before. Oh my God.
Yeah, I definitely relate.
The moment I tried to get up and grab my phone to inspect whatever the fuck happening to me, I just collapsed to the floor. That was probably the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. Imagine being pelted in the nuts over and over again. I did manage to crawl to the table next to the couch to get my phone. I immediately tried calling my girlfriend, but she declined my call. I then texted her that something was wrong and could she come home immediately. The club she went to is like a 5-minute walk from our apartment. I just put the phone down and started throwing up because of the pain.
Oh no.
After throwing up for like a minute, it felt like the pain started to cool down a bit. And I grabbed my phone again. And that's when I saw her response. She just replied with a, quote, "What is it?" And like an emoji that's like an annoyed face. Like,
Oh.
I tried calling her again, but as expected, she just declined it again. I then texted her that I need to go to the hospital now. She then asked for what, and I just replied with, "My balls hurt." I then just dialed for emergency services. I explained my situation to the emergency responder, and she asked if there was somebody that could drive me to the hospital. And I stupidly said yes.
So I'm reading some comments here that says, some people are saying that he cried wolf a lot. And so this was just another, oh, he's trying to ruin my night. But then somebody else comes back and said, I just read the original and he confirmed that he doesn't make it a habit of ruining our nights. He actually enjoys his alone time. So all these comments blaming him are just assumptions and projection. I mean, I'm thinking at this point in time, if she's responding like that, she's probably drunk anyway. But on her part, I would have expected maybe a call or something like that. But yeah, this seems like a super red flag, even though she's intoxicated. But intoxication could have a huge part to play.
The wife, the ex-wife. If you can't love me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Why should I look my best for my husband? This is how I looked when I had a man marry me because he loved me. This is how I took care of myself while simultaneously expecting monogamy. This is what I look like now that I'm back on the market. You see, a man marrying me wasn't enough for me to look like this for him. It took for me to get back on the market, for me to want to attract other. When that man loved me, married me, and was paying bills, I could not look like this for him because he should have accepted what was rolling out of bed every day.
Why is it always the pretty girls that are getting fumbled by losers? Like, bro, you know how lucky you are? Like, look right next to you. It's funny, like, normally those are the guys that will, like, ghost or cheat or something. And then they always regret it when they get with the next piece, like, way uglier. Like, bro, you was punching.
How is a man lucky to have somebody that looks good but can't think straight? What are we doing?
Excuse me, guys. I have to confess something.
What?
I fell in love with your friend right here.
Hey, good luck. Better luck next
Good
time.
luck. What's your
You're
name?
lying, buddy.
You're lying? Do you have a boyfriend?
No.
I can see why.
Hey, yeah, come.
I'm waiting on my Uber and I was like, you know what, this is a perfect time to do a little first date icks because I have a lot. You're lucky enough to even land a date with me and you show up empty-handed. Not a flower, not a chocolate, not a teddy, not a nothing. You're never gonna see me again. Before we even get to dinner table, we've had a conversation. You know my love language is gifts. So you showing up empty-handed, just you, nothing to wow me, nothing to make an impression, you're never gonna see me again. Ordering a girly drink. There should be no reason that we're both ordering an espresso martini. Get a gin and tonic. A Manhattan? A glass of wine even. Oh no, you want a lemon drop. Okay. If you get your drink and you ask for a straw, now I have to watch you drink this girly drink. You're pursing your lips every time. And if you lose track of your straw and you're fiddling for it, I'm gonna excuse myself, go to the restroom, and never come back. If you're a picky eater, I don't have time for my only eats chicken tenders. We're at a steakhouse, babe. Like, grow up. Last but not least, if we're in a crowded area and you're leading the way and you don't like reach back to grab my hand, someone could snatch me up And how would you know? You wouldn't, because you never reached back to grab my hand. I would love to hear some of y'all's icks in the comments just to see if I can add some to my list.
Lucky enough, she said. Sounds more like a nightmare.
Would you let me take you on a date?
Maybe. Where would we go?
Where would you like to go?
I like fancy places.
You like fancy places? What's the fanciest place you want me to take you on a date?
I don't know, I like steaks, so probably like Ruth Chris.
You like Ruth Chris?
Yeah.
Listen, we can go to Ruth Chris. We can go wherever you want because you'd have to pay for it.
Oh, I don't think so then.
It's giving broke. I like women with money.
There's a dude in the comments that said, "You don't get rules. You don't get rules at 32." He said, "You don't get rules at 32."
These are my hard and fast rules for a romantic partner as a 32-year-old woman. Number 1, don't yuck my yum, babe. I really like me and I like the things that I like. And if you don't like the things that I like and they irritate you, that sounds like a personal problem. Why don't you keep it to yourself? Number 2, you're either all in or you're all out, okay? I'm not dragging on a weird situationship for 6 months because you've just got like a lot on your plate right now. Okay, you mean your job and you're still mourning the loss of your gerbil from the 6th grade? Okay, I'm gonna need you to try a little harder. And number 3, in the interest of trying harder, why don't we go do something? I don't even want to think about the days of my life I lost in my 20s to a guy who just wanted to like hang around the house and like watch a movie. That's fine every once in a while, but I'm gonna need you to plan something. My wardrobe deserves to be shown out in the world. It's just a poor financial investment if I don't. I also refuse to pretend I'm full off of breadcrumbs. Oh, a tiny morsel of affection. You text me once a week and tell me I'm pretty. You're not on the roster, babe. You're a reply guy. I'm gonna need you to try harder.
My husband works 2 jobs, and he works 64 hours a week. Has like 1 day off. And within that 1 day, I want him to go outside with us, but he wants to stay home and spend time with us. But I don't want that. I want us to be outside. And I'm upset with him because we don't go outside and do activities as a family. Am I being reasonable or am I being a bad wife?
At the risk of being called a pick-me, because God forbid I defend men more than once a year, this woman is completely in the wrong. Someone told her to get a job, and she said no, LOL, while her husband is out working 64 hours a week at 2 different jobs. And she's online complaining about how he doesn't want to go hiking with his family on his 1 day off. If quality time means that much to you, a part-time job could help take some of the weight off his plate so he has the bandwidth for those moments you claim to value. I'll never understand this wave of pushing the trad life just to turn around and complain that the man you made the sole provider doesn't have energy left to perform emotional labor. You chose that dynamic. If you hate the consequences, maybe rethink the setup.
Bro, let her hand go now. It just keeps getting worse. Infinitely worse.
And why did you choose him?
Because he's hot and he has money.
Does money make a difference when you pick a guy?
Yes.
Why?
Because you get stability. You cannot be with someone that doesn't know what to do, doesn't find the business to provide the family food, the necessities. You cannot be with someone who doesn't know what does he want. You know what he wants.
That's why you chose him?
Yes.
How much does someone have to make to hit your criteria?
It's not only about quantities, just to have someone he cares for you and he gave you everything that you need at home.
When you guys have an argument and you remember, he makes a lot of money, does that make it easier for you to stay with him?
Probably, yes.
I love it. So you're saying that money sometimes makes it a lot easier in a relationship.
Yeah, money, it always makes things easier. I know it's not all about the money, but it absolutely makes all difference.
Nothing irritates me more than a man. The end.
That's not funny. Can you imagine if a man said that about a woman and said nothing irritates me more than a woman and then laughed about it? Why should we accept certain behaviors from one gender but not from the other gender? If you have to go onto your social media page and start putting down a specific gender because of who knows what reason, then you are the problem.
Y'all do know that Disney level put downs don't hurt men's feelings.
If a guy wants to go 50-50 with you on a first date, here's what I want you to say. Oh, I can't even believe I didn't offer. I just assumed it would be emasculating for you. But no, if you're fine with it, no, I'm happy to pay half.
It's not a flex, that just shows me that you're rude.
Men do not know how lucky they are when a girl actually likes them. Like, do you know how many
unanswered texts I have in my phone from men who I take literal days, if not weeks, to respond to. Do you know that the fact I'm responding to you the same business day is a privilege? I don't think they do. I don't think they know.
Day in the life of a woman who's dating herself. I'm 32 years old, single, and I love myself and my life so much that the idea of searching for a man to partner with feels like a death sentence for my peace and freedom. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I think dating men is a terrible investment for women, because where else do you pour in so much time, energy, money, and emotional labor for almost nothing in return? We spend hours scrolling, swiping, interviewing, entertaining, decoding text, and psychoanalyzing behavior, all for what? What exactly is the prize? Being emotionally neglected? Doing free therapy? Accepting the bare minimum as effort? Being sexually disappointed or worse, violated? Teaching basic empathy? That's the saying. Doing the same thing repeatedly and expecting a different result is the definition of crazy. I think as women, we're in the find out stage of round and find out, as many of us continue to waste our lives bending over backwards or shrinking ourselves over the myth that a man will take us out of our misery, because the reality is that the only person who will give you everything is yourself. Decentering men, dating, and romance is a way to reclaim your time and energy so you can invest it into literally anything else where the return is so much greater. Studying, your career, your healing, your passions, your friendships, instead of trying to find happiness and fulfillment within the confines of the male skills gap. By the way, decentering men isn't about pretending they don't exist or being silent about the injustices that both men and women endure at the hands of the patriarchy. It's about deconstructing the ways we've been conditioned to prioritize male love and validation above all else, when in reality, the greatest love and most rewarding relationship you will ever have is with yourself.
I mean, you didn't have to post a video. You could have just gone on about your life and not dated anybody. It wouldn't have made us any different.
I think I've came to the sad reality that marriage might not be for me. I just ended it with someone I've been dating for a few months now, and I am realizing that I do not know the things that I can negotiate on. Nobody can convince me that married people do not go through hell and back with their partner. And I fully understand that when you are dating someone or when you are with someone, you're choosing to commit to someone, you are choosing to commit to all versions of them. Even when that version of them could be hurtful or it could be very uncomfortable for you. And the challenging part for me is figuring out when to extend grace to someone. Because I know I'm not the perfect partner. I have childhood trauma. I have communication issues. Like, I know I'm not the easiest person to be with. But there's like so many things that I just cannot deal with, cannot move past. And that's something that's going to be very difficult for me to figure out. Because deep down, I know that the person that I end up with, if I end up with anybody, they're going to have to compromise with me just like I may have to compromise with them. When do you know, like, when to compromise? When do you know what season of that person's life to work through or navigate through? Like, that is going to be the most difficult thing for me to figure out, honestly.
And this, unfortunately, is where a lot of modern women fail. They can't think critically. They don't want to think critically. You have to figure it out. Good for you.
And on the topic of Hinge, what the fuck is wrong with me? I literally have men lined up by the dozen, waiting to take me on dates, texting me good morning, calling me beautiful, liking my stories, texting me that I'm pretty. And the one that I diabolically need is the one that's ghosting me. The one that I'm obsessed with, my favorite out of all of them, out of the entire roster, is the one that's ghosting me and breadcrumbing me. What the is wrong with me? What kind of bitch attitude is that? What kind of deranged toxic mentality is that? I hate being like this, yet I can't change. Because this is who I am. I'm the problem. I know it. I'm the problem. How do I stop being the problem?
Just another modern woman out here with self-inflicted wounds.
I be tired of getting called intimidated because we don't be liking some of y'all. I ain't saying it's all women. I would never say that. What I will say is that I think a good amount of women hate when men lead with their accomplishments, lead with their material, lead with their position in life. And because we all learn success from the same model, some women do that too. Shorty, I don't give a f about most of that you talking about. You're not likable. Them last 8 years in college is all the personality you got. It's all the You talking campus still, shorty. You don't like I'm not trying to take away from what anyone has accomplished. It's just to say that like some people really are lack self-awareness and think because they've accomplished so much on paper that translates to being a good person in everybody else's life, and it don't. It does not. Being accomplished does not make you likable. They don't even kind of equal each other.
I've known too many men who say that they lost their virginity to an older woman when they were young. I don't think we give this enough attention as a society, as parents, adults in the lives of children, because of course, like, we need to inform girls to be careful around older men. And we're starting to teach boys to also watch out for older men, which is great, but it's the women too. I've known way too many guys who say that they were like 13, 14, 15, 16, getting with a woman in her 20s or older, sometimes teachers or the moms of their friends. I just saw a video of Tech9 saying that this happened to him with a teacher when he was like 13 or 14. This is something that we need to be talking about more. We need to be teaching our children. We all need to be a little bit more aware, because nobody wants to suspect that it's a woman, especially if she is, you know, the babysitter that's in her mid-20s. But we need to be watching out. I have a daughter and a son, and I'm gonna be teaching my son the same things that I'm teaching my daughter.
Guys, one of the main reasons that I don't recommend getting married coming from a woman is because it's a rigged game. Women aren't gonna tell you this, and maybe subconsciously they don't even know it. But what you're doing when you marry her is you're actually handing over your leadership position, because you're giving her the power. It is incentivizing her to disagree with you and have things go her way. So anytime she doesn't get her way and you disagree with her, it actually increases the temptation to leave you, especially if you're more successful than she is. So this temptation builds over time, and she gets rewarded when she leaves. She gets that golden parachute. So by handing over your leadership position, you're giving her the incentive to leave you and be rewarded for it. So marriage is a losing game, it's rigged, and that's just the way it's set up for now. So remember guys, you're not the exception. There's really nothing special about your situation than from the other people that go through it. So keep that in mind. Coming from a girl who grew up dreaming about the beautiful wedding and the future and having the husband and the white picket fence, to now saying this, because when I met my boyfriend 17 years ago, believe me, that was all I wanted for my future. But as I got to learn and grow through him and understand his perspective, and he made a comment once about how he wasn't going to be my insurance plan, and I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. But then he explained it to me and I was like, well, I sure as hell don't want that either. I wouldn't want to put that on him, especially now. But knowing that marriage would give me that kind of temptation, I would love to think that I would never do something like that. But human nature is human nature. And we all know that we're capable of things that we never think we're capable of doing. So don't put yourself in that position.
What can a man provide to a woman that a woman cannot provide themselves?
I mean, it's a narcissistic question. And I think it's because it's completely delusional. It only would come up from somebody that has kind of taken a lot of the societal narratives that make people think narcissistically about relationships. And it's like what men provide women and what women provide men are mutually exclusive to those individuals. Now, we don't like to talk about it, because if I were to talk about it, what would come up is all of your vulnerabilities that would deconstruct a lot of the narcissistic thinking that people have about relationships. Is that men and women don't just want or like each other. We need each other. There's a certain point where people have to compromise and reject what they are in order to survive. That is not thriving. Thriving exists when this exists in harmony with each other, because there is no evolution of mankind without women, or without men to protect women in those very vulnerable states. There's so much that goes into the longevity of both of us together.
Oh my gosh, that was an incredible date. I show up and he's so cute and he's sweet. He's like gentle golden retriever. He had such thoughtful questions. He's also active in his faith, which was apparent in the way he spoke, the way he treated me, and from what I can tell who he is as a person. And I think part of first dates is just knowing if you want to go on a second date, and I definitely want to go on a second date. Really interested to get to know him more. And gosh, I just feel so... And then he stood up at the end of the date. And this man is fine. My goodness, is he good looking. Anyway, he also, I don't know why I did this, but we were walking, he waited with me to get a car, and we were walking like on the sidewalk right before I was gonna get in the car, and I was gonna say bye to him on the sidewalk, and he just starts walking into the street to actually walk me to the car, because obviously, and just so sweet, like got me in the car, we said goodbye, and he asked me out again. I said I would love to, and it was just perfect. Anyway, I'll keep you updated. Bye.
Oddly enough, it's the women roasting her in the comments for some reason. One woman said, it's perfect, but she never gets to the third date. Why is that? Another woman said, no worries, there will be another first date video coming soon. What? What? Diabolical.
Okay, so it looks like my last video stirred up a bunch of feathers with the men, but I'm just gonna respond to this comment here. Basically saying that when guys approach, they're called creeps by some girls, and this is the reason why guys don't approach girls no more, yada, yada, yada. And girls only like when handsome guys approach them. And I feel like the biggest disconnect in this new generation is that women are still living in the chivalry ages. Like, we want to get courted the old school way. We want to, you know, be taken out on a nice date. We want a guy to approach us first, put in the effort. We don't want to feel like the men in the relationship. And then the men, which I think they misunderstood what I said by instant gratification, is the men want to know that the woman likes them first before they even try. Which is why I said on the dating apps, you get instant gratification because you know the girl likes you because she matched with you. But men want to cut out all of that work of trying to figure out if they like them and just do the apps first and chit chat on there. All while ignoring or not even giving it a chance to see the signs that a girl likes them. Because typically a girl is going to look at you and make some kind of eyes at you, whatnot. But in my last video, I wasn't saying go up to every single girl. So at that point, that's kind of just like a social interaction and social skill issue. If you can't tell when somebody, you know, seems at least slightly interested in you. Which is where this problem that I've been seeing in my comments of the men saying that girls only want handsome men. Actually, maybe you're going for the girls that didn't give any signs that they were interested in the first place. Like in the story I was mentioning in my last video, I had already confirmed that the girl was interested in him and he was interested in her. He just didn't want to put in the effort. And that was the whole point of my video, is that I think men these days rather the easy way of just swiping instead of putting in the effort in person.
Some good discussions about maybe my past relationships and how they've shaped me and what I'm most afraid of right now. I think what I'm most afraid of is pretty much just not being trusted. I get really hurt when people don't trust me because I feel like throughout my entire life, I have pretty much been the adult, like since I was a teenager, because I'm the oldest and there was just so many different factors in my life growing up that just kind of forced me to be mature. So if someone doesn't trust me, it's like, okay, I already I have this big of a threshold for you not to trust me. And now I just can't fuck this anymore. Like if you don't trust me, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, okay, see ya. Cause I don't know. That's how I've kind of been. So in other relationships, I'm just kind of worried about not doing things for myself still. And I kind of put myself in this box. Not saying that any of my exes have put me in this box of like, you can't do this, you can't do that. Because the moment that someone said that, I would be like, see you later, see ya ever. You know, my typical thing. I put myself into this box of like what I think I should be like in a relationship. And it's just not, like it's in my head. I need to keep doing what I would do on a normal basis when I'm in a relationship. And I kind of feel like I've just put so much into what I should be doing instead of what I want to be doing. Yikes.
I got to be honest with you. I come across some videos where I see women and I really, really hope that they get married. I really hope that they find somebody because I see, you know, based on what you're saying and the things that you're doing, you're a good person. It's just that you be fighting everybody. You be ready to go back and forth. You be on edge. You be ready to snap. You don't have to do that anymore. You need to find somebody that's going to not necessarily take care of you and, oh man, here's a credit card, just go spend it. But really be able to connect with somebody besides your friends that you can share and really have companionship. But it's hard for you to find that because you're not willing to let go. And a lot of men out here ain't willing to take the chance on you flipping out one day and being like, oh, you know what? I don't want to take this anymore. I'm out. Let's have my stuff gone. Absolutely not.
So I made a post asking where are all the single men for women in their 30s. And women in your 30s, I just want to let you guys know that we lost a good one.
With the Halle on, with the Halle Berry, with the Halle Burton, with the Halle Brian James.
I don't know how you're supposed to meet someone when the dating apps suck and then guys don't approach you.
I'm so pretty and the dating scene here is just like so wild. These guys, ooh, honey, maybe it's your energy.
I refuse to be a stay-at-home mom in a country that doesn't place any value on the unpaid invisible labor that women do.
Who cares what the country thinks of you? All you should care about is what your husband thinks.
Whoever pays my bills first wins.
Gold diggers everywhere.
So today is my last day of maternity leave and I go back to work tomorrow. I just don't feel ready.
I'm ready for the heat on this one. Women, you shouldn't go for careers where you're going to have student loans. It's not worth it.
Women don't know the difference between being nosy and being a good friend. And I think it's because they believe that being a good friend means you are nosy because you care. For example, my friend broke up with his girl and he told me about it. He told me they got into a fight, and, you know, after that fight, it was like, you know, we're just better as friends. So I said, bro, I'm sorry you're going through that. I asked how he was doing and asked if he needed anything. He told me he was good, and we proceeded to play 2K. So now I rely that information over to my wife. Now my wife is asking me for follow-up questions. Who said what? Who said it first? Who broke up with who? Where was they at? How did it even happen? How did this conversation, how did the argument even start? Ma'am, I have none of those answers for you. And after I told her that, she said, how are you even a friend? Like, you didn't ask none of these questions? No, I did not. Because those questions are not important. The most important fact is that he is single now. Is he okay? And does he need anything? Those other details is just for me to know. That's just being nosy. And then my wife said, nope, that's just because, you know, men don't ask questions. Y'all don't know how to be friends. Well, 2 weeks later, the same friend called me back, let me know how he was doing, and thanked me for being there for him, listening to him if he needed anything, and giving him his space that he needed to put everything together. So men don't ask questions because we ask the important questions. You know what? I'm going to stop there before I get canceled.
The egg does not swim to the sperm. That is why women are not meant to chase men. Women are not meant to pursue men. I'm going to say this again, too. Eggs are very expensive and sperm is very cheap.
Fellas, y'all going to let me have a real conversation with y'all or y'all going to get in y'all feelings about what I'm about to say? Let me know real quick. I'm about to say it anyway, so it don't even matter. Y'all got to start dating within y'all tax bracket. And I'm not even talking about the gold diggers or the women that only wants men for money. I'm talking about the women that got their own bread. I'm talking about the woman that's out here doing it. I'm talking about the women that's buying themselves all types of gifts, that's taking themselves on all types of vacations, right? That can get their homegirls luxurious presents for birthdays. That's who I'm talking about. I'm talking about women who make their money and they like nice things. If you cannot support that lifestyle, that is likely not the woman for you. Stop pursuing women who live a life that you cannot maintain. So for example, if this woman on an average Saturday, she going out with a homegirl, she going out with herself, and she could afford to drop $300-400 just easy, like that's nothing. That's regular. If you cannot afford to do the same thing, baby, that lady is likely not for you. If the clothes she wears, the shoes she wears, the jewelry she wears has a higher price tag on them, and you know that you cannot afford that, baby, this woman is likely not for you. If the car she drives has a 20-gallon tank and she only can use premium gas and she got to fill her tank up twice a week, which is easy, $150 to $200 a week, right? If you can't afford to put gas in her tank, baby, just leave her alone. Like you see where I'm going with this? I'm not saying you don't deserve love. I'm not saying that you don't deserve a good woman. What I'm saying is that woman is just not likely it, because you're going to have to take her out of the lifestyle that she's used to because you cannot afford the things or the experiences that she can. And it's not just about the monetary and material things. That's just the root. But let's look at it like this. Shorty want to go on a vacation to Dubai. Shorty want to go on a vacation to friggin' Turks and Caicos. And she want to go get a villa, right? With the butler and the pool right in the room and jacuzzi and everything. Baby, that's a $10,000 trip. But on that trip, there's going to be so many memories that is created. But because that is outside of your tax bracket, you cannot go on that trip with her and create these memories. You see where I'm going with that? But if there's another type of woman, same type of character, same good woman, right? Who's cool with a little 3-day, cruise to the Bahamas, that's only going to run your pockets a good $500, baby, that's where you need to be. And again, this is not me saying for anyone to settle, but this is me saying that you got to be realistic. Now, is it impossible for you to bag a woman like this? Of course not. You know what I'm saying? Because really, if you got charisma, you could bag almost anything. But can you sustain a woman like that? That's the question. I'm just a messenger. Be safe.
So I guess this...
Okay, this is a viral video that's been circulating around regarding a statue of a fishmonger named Molly Malone in Dublin, Ireland, and the way that men have been treating it. And the similar theme in these videos is, look at what disgusting pigs men are. They have touched the chest area of this statue so many times that that area has now turned into a polished gold very dissimilar to the rest of the dark bronze of the statue. Basically, once again, men bad. But here's my problem. Why are we pretending that it's just men doing this? Allow me to take you on an absolute carousel of women doing the exact same thing to Molly. There they go. Women are doing it too, and they don't just do it to Molly. Women also partake in groping the statue of Juliet in Verona, Italy. And that's not all, folks. Look at what they've gone and done to the statue of Victor Noir in Paris. Women have gone and rubbed the bulge in the trousers and kissed the lips of this statue so many times that not only has it become completely discolored in those areas, but there is now an urban legend throughout the area that if you do these things, it will grant you both fertility and a husband within a year. And what's even more disturbing about women aggressively fondling this statue is that it's the actual gravesite of Victor Noir, not just a cheeky statue placed around town like the others. City officials actually became so disturbed by this trend that at one point they did put up a fence around the statue, but women protested not being able to rub his bulge so hard that they had to take the fence down. That's some seriously thirsty work, ladies. My ultimate point is we can't just demonize men when women are also weird as hell with statues. I thought we learned this from My Strange Addiction, but apparently it bears repeating. So if you're gonna call men pigs for what happened to Molly, make sure that you're also blaming the women who did the same thing to Molly and pull them off of Victor Noir's sausage, because you're all being degenerates out here, okay? Bad statue gropers. Bad.
Not y'all be trying to clock my tea. Somebody said, how you gonna tell us how to attract a high value man when you wouldn't even qualify? Woo! Ouch. I ain't even gonna lie, like that didn't kind of hurt, because you're kind of right. Because in the eyes of society, and for sure Kevin Samuels, if he was still alive, baby, I wouldn't qualify for a high value man. I am a high school dropout, 2 kids, 2 baby daddies. Baby, I was heavily tatted, pierced up, wear color hair, long nails. Baby, I was the epitome of bouge ghetto, a product of my environments. And I don't even like to use that as an excuse. So I would like to say, if you knew better, you would do better. I wasn't surrounded by anybody who knew better. So I didn't know any better my damn self. So I come on here to maybe help somebody else who doesn't know any better, who's not surrounded around people who can tell them that just ain't it, girl. Okay? So hopefully on my platform, I can help somebody else. That is all I try to do, baby. It might be too late for me, but it ain't too late for somebody else. All right? And if I can help one person, baby, I'm doing my job. All right? So yeah, y'all ain't clocked my tea. I've been checking myself. Thank you.
A lot of women are claiming that they have to be masculine until a man comes along and brings out their femininity, and that's just delusional. Paying bills and taking care of responsibilities does not require masculinity. It just requires organization. And saying that because you're in survival mode you have to be masculine is also delusional. You can survive in your femininity.
We've been talking about him maybe moving in with me. Here's the weird thing. Every single time I tell someone this, their immediate reaction, he better be paying part of the rent, or like, he's gonna be paying, right? Like,
bro, it's crazy. I looked in the comments. The second comment right here says, yes, agreed. Someone who cares about her would want to take the burden off her by paying their share. Am I tripping, or is that the common sense that we've been trying to drip down society's throat for the longest time? Like, there's so much to this, okay? But something I've always said is if a woman loves you, she's not gonna want you doing all that. Like, if they really like their partner, they would for sure want to lighten the load. I swear, it's like us as humans, our default settings know that 50-50 is the way to go, you know? But we're being gaslit into thinking that's somehow the wrong thing. We're being gaslit into thinking that that's somehow insulting to both parties involved. Do you see what they're trying to do? And do you see why you can't let them win? It's just so ridiculous. Like plain as day. A same situation reversed. If it was some dude being on here like, oh man, like people are asking me to make sure she pays, people would be in the comments like, oh, those people, they're misogynists. Oh, they don't love women. They don't understand that you got to protect her and provide for her. Bro, when I tell you, this blows my mind every time I see it. And the thing is, they'll see this hypocrisy and just be like, well, like they literally won't care.
And your friends are like, you can have any guy you want. And I'm like, unfortunately, both unfortunately and fortunately, I am not my type's type. My type doesn't like me. And that is because my type is guys that don't like me. But that's beside the point.
So there's actually a women's loneliness epidemic too. It's just that we will manage our feelings of longing and hunger, and you guys like won't. Do you think we like this? Do you think that all the single women in the world like the fact that we cannot find decent human men to spend our time with? Do you think we like that? Do you think we like going years without physical contact with the gender we're sexually attracted to? Do you think we like that? The thing that kills me the most is how many phenomenal single women I know, absolutely wonderful, beautiful, successful human beings I know who happen to be women. I don't know any single men. I don't know any. None. That's fucked up. That's super fucked up. If there are this many of us, there should be this many of them, right? I wonder what they're doing. I wonder where they are. I wonder what they're up to right now. Oh, that's right. They're in my comment section telling me how I'm gonna die alone with my cats. Like, that doesn't sound like fun. We're lonely too, but we are lonely too. We're just better at it. We are so much better at handling our feelings of unrequited desire and longing than men choose to be. And yes, it's a choice. You can choose to be happily single. You can choose to find more community around you. You can choose productive ways to spend your time, or you can sit at home and yell at women you don't know in their comment sections. Up to you.
Times I wish I had a man, or when I look this good and I have nobody to be like, damn babe, you look good. But I kind of got myself into it because everyone was like, oh, you just wait, like Tampa men are the worst. And I was like, no way, like it can't be that bad. Oh, it's bad, terrible, and I'm over it. I just want a ring right here and a big ass house and a man. That's it. Because I have my favorite car. I did that myself, but I want a man. I just want a man. When is it gonna be my turn?
You're a sensitive person and you're not looking for a self-awareness check, please move on. I'm about to hurt some feelings. When dating, self-awareness is key for both men and women. Men, if you see a woman that looks like her hair shampoo and pedicure alone costs more than your entire outfit and your monthly rent, move on. You can't afford her. Leave her alone. Stop trying to make her your next victim. And girls, I'm a girl's girl, so I'm gonna give it to you how it is so you don't have unrealistic expectations. And you rise to the occasion. If you see a man, and I mean a man, and you're eating everything under the sun, move on. There's some of us out here going to the gym 7 days a week, murdering our glutes 2 to 3 times a week, on a calorie deficit, fasting for 72 hours to get to our brown fat. Can't remember the last time I had ice cream, hungry most of the time. Please move on. That's my man. That's my man.
So I've been single for about 4 years, but I recently started dating like maybe a year or so ago or whatever. And I just find it very interesting. So I've been told that I love myself too much by a man. And then another man told me what that man really meant was he felt like I didn't have room for him in my life. And I just feel like you confusing, because what the fuck?
Men deserve the loneliness they are creating for themselves. I do not care about a male loneliness epidemic when a woman cannot walk outside and not be harassed. I left my Airbnb to go to the pharmacy to pick up my prescriptions. Minding my own business, I'm approached by not one, not two, 3 men. One trying to sell me some fake ass flowers, another hanging out of his car saying, do you need a ride? Me completely ignoring him because why would I give any fan attention? And then when he knows that I'm ignoring him, screaming out of his car, they are so unevolved evolved, it's actually insane, and then throw tantrums when they don't get what they want. And what they want is to control us. It's not even that they actually genuinely want to connect with women. They want to harass women and exploit women. Oh, well, not all men are like this. Why don't you go start standing up to your buddy and stop telling me about a male loneliness epidemic? I do not care. I do not think that they deserve any of my sympathy, let alone any woman's sympathy or empathy for that matter at this point with how they have treated us across history and in the modern day. Get the fuck out of my face.
You know, I think it's easy to, you know, when you're in the comfort of your own home, talk reckless like this. But, you know, when you need help and stuff like that, then you pipe down a little bit.
So I go out of my way to follow a lot of older women on social media, and part of that is just to fight the insane levels of ageism and self-loathing that these algorithms will push on you, especially if you're a woman. Like every time I see a 20-something on here talking about how she needs to go to her dermatologist for more anti-aging treatments, I think you probably would have been better off smoking cigarettes than being on this app. But a common theme I've noticed with some of these older women on social media is how many of them will say, like, I waited until I was 47 to leave a marriage that was done at 27. And a lot of them are even on social media in the first place because they're going through this like self-rediscovery era much later in life because they're finally not burdened by the wrong man. And this is not to say that every woman is inevitably going to get divorced or end up in a bad marriage, because to be clear, a lot of them are also in great marriages or just never got married in the first place. But it is to say that when a marriage is going wrong, when a marriage is failing, the woman, because it's usually the woman who initiates a divorce, is probably aware of that years, if not decades, before she finally pulls the trigger. And sometimes this is purely financial, sometimes this is because it's dangerous to leave a marriage, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a combination of sunk cost fallacy and the social pressure that we put on women to make marriages work, and the stigma that we put on them when they become divorcees or single mothers. Now, this is just the sample size of the women I follow, but they pretty much universally say that if they could go back, they would have cut that marriage off way sooner or never gotten married to that person at all. And if you're a younger woman who's unhappy or unfulfilled or neglected in your marriage, but you feel guilty or ashamed about potentially saying this isn't working and moving on, do not let society gaslight you into giving that man more of your youth. And start seeking out the wisdom of older women who lost decades to the sunk cost fallacy, because they'll tell you what's up.
You know what I find very entertaining about a lot of these posts is that it shows me, or continues to confirm to me, that a lot of these modern women are, for lack of a better phrase, very cowardly in the way they approach relationships. When they go to the job site, they're fearless. I'm kicking butt, taking names. I'm getting to the root cause of the issue. If I can't do one thing one way, then I'm figuring out another way. Oh, girl, I got my bag. I got my utility belt. I got my tools. And, you know, you're not going to stop me. I'm just going to keep on going and keep on going until I get to the root cause of what it is. And then I'm going to fix it, because that's what I do for my clients. And unfortunately, you guys go home and don't remember that you have something at the house that's more important than your clients. And then all of those tools and things that you had for problem solving tend to dry up. And so what's the tool that you so often, like in this video, end up pulling out? Divorce. And this caption says, divorce early and often. And by the way, she's married. Do you think that you would feel comfortable talking with your wife, talking about stuff like this, or saying stuff like this, or encouraging people to do this? I don't know. I'm not going to shame the man for it, but I'm just saying, instead of really actually doing things to fix a problem and trying to figure out how the man communicates, it's, well, I tried to do it the way I knew how and the best I knew how. I went to the therapist and I said this and I said that. When really a lot of these therapy sessions is him complaining for 30 minutes to an hour straight. And the therapist kind of bouncing some ideas around, but nothing ever really gets solved. And then they think that when they get out of these relationships, oh, the grass is going to be greener, and it doesn't turn out to be as green as they thought it was. So they decide to stay single, and they still continue to go into the same therapist. And then they say, I've done the inner work, I've healed, I'm ready for a relationship again. But they find out, oh, wait, it's not working as I thought it was. Probably not, because there's some things that you haven't learned, even in all your infinite wisdom. So you guys, you know, you keep on leaving relationships, do whatever you think that you need to do. But at some point in time, y'all gonna have to sit with yourself and say, did I really try the best I could? If y'all by yourselves and you got your friends hyping you up, did I really try to do everything that I could have? A lot of these women out here say, I know what my friend said, but I could have done a little bit better. So instead of just trying to run away from stuff because that seems to be the easiest thing to do, Before you do that, maybe try thinking really, really hard about how to communicate the way that your significant other communicates. But men do understand this. They do. That's why you have the stories, and maybe some in your comments here, of men saying, I've already done this and it did not work. I was trying to do X, Y, and Z and it did not work. Oh, well, you should have tried harder. This. I did. Some of these situations, the man is married to the woman. I'm doing X, I'm doing Y. These kids consider me a father. There is no step. They consider me a father. And you know what I get from that interaction? Well, my kids are always going to come first. In any situation, when I ask to be prioritized, it never comes. Oh, well, you just got to know it ain't all about you. And as a man, I would expect you to grow some and just understand that. Just sit up here and support me. You know what a woman said in one of the clips that I reviewed? Man up. Stay where you are. You just got to keep on doing it. Even though these kids saying you're not their father, even though they keep on bad mouthing you, still keep on paying for them. Still keep on. Even though they said to you, when you ask them, hey, I know we've been together for a long time, to make this seem a little bit more real, like family, sort of like common, do you want me to drop the step? And then you just say, Dad, no, you can keep the step. Why would I want to be a part of that environment? The man was sitting, he'd been with this woman for a while. So yes, men know and understand that some of these single mothers are struggling, but the entitlement, the attitude, the contentious nature of some of these young ladies is going to be enough every single time to run a man off, period.
I was a single man with no kids and ended up dating and marrying a single mother who had 4 kids and had multiple baby dads, all within a 2-month time. She didn't have a great job making a lot of money and she was always broke. When I go over to a place, it was always trash. There was toys and junk all over the floor. So she had no fancy career. She had no money in the bank. She had 4 kids, multiple baby dads. She didn't really cook and her place was always trashed. A lot of men watching this video is probably going to think I'm really stupid and I'm waiting for y'all comments. But for somebody like me who's informed and educated, that is what it's like to be a single mom. And believe it or not, a lot of stay-at-home moms too. Single mothers and stay-at-home moms has to get up early, get their kids ready, get them out of the house, work all day, pick the kids back up, come home, cook, clean. It's a lot of work. It's even more frustrating for a stay-at-home mom who has this whole other adult who can help her with that load before he goes to work or even when he gets home from it. So when I started dating my wife and I saw these things, I did not bash her. That would be wrong of me. My wife forgot that I was coming over that evening. And when I saw her place, she was so embarrassed. She was trying to be apologetic and I said, you have nothing to be sorry about. I know you have a lot on your plate. Let me help you pick up. After we finished picking up the place, I went to the fridge to just try to cook dinner for her and her kids that evening. And her fridge was empty. She just forgot to go grocery shopping. And you know what I did? I proceeded to go to the supermarket and stock up her fridge. That evening, I cooked ribeye steak and made loaded potatoes. Those kids tore that plate up. By me doing what I did, it freed up a lot of her time to be able to do other things she normally wouldn't be able to do if it was just her by herself. And by freeing up time for her, it freed up time for her to have with me. Problem is, a lot of men are hearing stepkids, not my kids. But my stepkids are my kids. I view them as nothing less. My wife is sweet, loving, and kind, and she's really funny. And I'm not going to miss out on opportunities on getting to know a really good person just because she has kids and baby dads. So from that moment to this day, I have cooked every single dinner. I do whatever it is she needs around the house. And to be honest, I'm so way ahead of the game, she does not need to ask me for help. I just do it. So for a man saying they can't date a woman with kids, or a man who's saying they can't help their wife at home, just by putting in that little extra work, you have no idea how much rewards you're missing.
Music make you lose control. Music make you lose control.
So when you search the recesses of your mind to think of a dance appropriate enough to do in front of your son, the only thing you can come up with was to back that thing up, to throw it in a circle, if you will. His mother, I would think that you would be able to read your own son's body language to realize how uncomfortable he was in that moment. The leaning back, the looking away, the turning red, the awkward kind of As his mother, I would have thought you'd been able to pick up on his body language and see exactly how uncomfortable he was. The leaning back, the turning red, the looking away, the awkward smiling. Like he was clearly uncomfortable, but you're so busy yucking it up and throwing it back to the 90s. I see you got 5.6 million views, but it was only an 11-second video, so you didn't even get paid for it. So you humiliated the boy for free? If he's old enough to go to prom, he's old enough to have friends who are also on TikTok. Now, what happens when they stumble across this video? It's the only video that you have pinned to the top of your page because it's probably your proudest moment. But what about him? There are some things that are just not worth going viral for. The possibility of embarrassing your son is definitely one of them.
But that's what we be telling y'all. Modern women don't be thinking about what's going on with a man. Not their husband, not their son, nephew, anyone. It's all about them. Oh, I just want to be cute. I just want to look like this. And they don't care nothing about that. That's what we keep on telling you.
All men just get haircuts and lie. Like, you have nothing better to do?
Does a man's income determine how much respect he gets in a relationship?
Depends on the woman. I think for a woman that is more shallow, absolutely. Actually, I feel like for society, absolutely. There are things that when you have money, you can buy bad character. People will allow you to get away with being a terrible human. Oh, because they have this car. Oh, because they tip well. Oh, because they're buying everybody shots, but they're a horrible human. And that's good for those people. But for me, there's not a level. I will respect people because people deserve respect, period. Right. But respecting as my partner, you've got to be at my level or higher.
Right.
For my partner. And not that I would give you respect, but that I would trust your lead. That's probably a better way to answer it.
Right.
Because if I'm ahead of you, I don't want to slow down for you to pass me up.
So, I have a question. What's your name? Okay, so we're off to a pretty bad start here. I have a question. Is a terrible icebreaker for a random man that you just met on the street, and then to follow it up by asking for his name without even introducing yourself? That's kind of crazy to me. I doubt that anyone here is over the age of 21. This is minus 200. Minus 200. Dan. Dan? Yeah. That's not your real name. My name is Dan. What's your last name? Darby. Now this is your chance to strike, but y'all just want to sit there in silence and stare. He gave y'all the information y'all wanted. This is no time to freeze up. Y'all want to hit on him so bad, it's clear as day. Tell him your name. Minus 306. Well, okay, I think I'm lying. I don't like it, Dan. From where? What's famous? What would be famous? We're all famous in our own eyes. He didn't even hear you say that. I respect the creativity, though. You try to do something different, try to see where his mind was at, but you got left on red in real life. I don't know how you're gonna come back from this. Minus 500. I mean, people know me. Like how? Just like, I don't know, just people just know me. Like why do you have a whole cameraman like you're famous? Okay, minus 1200, because now you're just dragging the whole are you famous thing. Like, I get it, he looks like somebody important, but you just look thirsty as hell trying to figure it out, and you still haven't introduced yourself, bro. No, he just records us like regular, like, yeah. I feel like he's playing. You think I'm playing? Nah, I'm not that famous. Like, I guess I'm a cool guy. I'm just a cool guy. I'm a chill guy. Yeah. Maybe I'll see you one day. Yeah, you'll never see that man again. Definitely. All right, nice to meet you.
This man just rolled up in his Lamborghini convertible and said he wants to take me to lunch. I don't want to go to lunch with you. What happened to saying I have a nice ass?
What is up with these older men that do not want to commit? They're pushing 40. They don't know what they want. They're balding. They act like they can get a stallion. But sweetie, know that your next date is going to be from the nursing home.
I don't know when we're finally going to realize that that man pushing 40 can absolutely admire a woman, but when that woman takes him for granted, that man is going to be gone. Because trust me, he's already experienced that one-sided relationship where his love and affection was not appreciated. And at that point, that man has decided that he is better off seeking somebody else, forming a relationship potentially with somebody else, and even if he believes that he's going to have a hard time finding that somebody else, he knows that being single is more peaceful. This is not because of commitment issues. It is because he saw your red flags, and that man pushing 40, he is in his prime. What a lot of women don't realize is that him being almost 40 is very similar to women in their 20s. They have the most options they ever will have. So when he starts to see the red flags, he's just done. He's gone.